for a side stage interview with TL's King of the Jungle.
Thank you very much, Riv. I'm going to call him Crazy Horse for today. I'm here with Dardoch from Team Liquid, asking you right off the bat, that Hecarim, you got it 2 games, you went off. Why are we seeing it now, and why is it coming out again?
Well, we went through a phase where we were playing champions like Elise and like more supportive style junglers, and then we were like, what is Josh best at? And it was just 5v5ing and running into enemy teams. So when Hecarim came back into the meta, well, not into the meta, but solo queue, he was really broken. I just played a bunch of him, and then I incorporated it into scrims.
So how's it feel to be playing that champion? I know you like to go off, so how's that feel?
Honestly, I wanted to debut it yesterday in Match of the Week and Stomp CLG, but they're too scared. But it still feels really good.
And so I'm going to ask you about that yesterday matchup here. You're talking about how you guys should have won it. You had really just a solid hold on that game. What were your thoughts immediately after that game when you suffered defeat to CLG?
Honestly, it's a fluke. They're not the better team, not even close. If they were the better team, they wouldn't have been down 4 dragons and 11K at the end of the game, but we messed up. We mess up one team fight and we lose the game, so they can have the set, but if we meet them in playoffs, I'm sure we'll beat them.
And you guys did actually just secure playoffs too. And so those 3 through 6 spots, they're still kind of up in the air. Is there any team that you're looking to avoid or you'd like to avoid coming into playoffs?
The teams we're trying to avoid are impossible to avoid. It's TSM and IMT.
So nobody in the bottom half, nobody in 3 through 6 at all? 3
through 6, I think C9 and CLG will probably be the closer ones, but I think if we play Envy or, I mean, is Envy and Apex secured? Whoever's going to take the 5 and 6 seed, probably I won't be scared of.
Yeah, you actually have a little bit of power over that because you play Apex next week. Final question here, Apex and Cloud9. You can still get that 3rd seed. You can still keep Apex out of playoffs. What are your thoughts on those 2 matchups, and what are you looking forward to?
Honestly, I think C9 is a really good team, and they have like one of the strongest mids in the region and one of the strongest junglers in the region, so I'm really looking forward to that matchup again. And for Apex, I think it's going to be pretty easy, and I kind of want to keep them out of playoffs.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations on playoffs, and good luck as well. Now we're going to send it over to the desk to break down that game.
Thank you very much, Zyrene, and thank you, Dardoch, throwing a little fire, a little spitting hot fire here. It's always exciting to hear confidence out of players, especially when we're looking towards that playoff picture. You know, even suffering that loss yesterday to CLG, standing there confident that they could beat them the next time they meet them in a best-of series.
And, you know, he does have a lot of credit and things to back up that talk because a better team would not be down that much gold and that many objectives. And they did play well, but ultimately the results is what matters in the end. And I think that with that confidence that they can push forward, they should be able to actually bring a close series like it was at the end of the last split.
But now I want to refocus here on the series that actually took place today. Team Liquid in a 2-0 dominant victory over NRG here. It did kind of show that they were able to rebound quite well from what would have, for most people, been a very devastating loss to have been up 11K and 4 dragons and lose a game. But here, rebound, and they kind of put on a show for us over NRG.
Yeah, massive show, especially with the Hecarim. We heard Dardoch's comments about the Hecarim as well, but I just want to kind of precede it by when you look at every other region that's playing Hecarim at the same time, Hecarim is feast or famine. Like, you'll have games where you go off like this. Well, he is not consistent if you fall behind and have losing lanes at the same time.
That was most definitely an organic, hand-fed horse from the hand of Kiwi because there was a lot of free food to that Hecarim right from the start. Just like.
So let's lay this out and break down a little bit. We saw what would have been a very standard lane swap initiated here at the very beginning of the game. Kiwi moving into the jungle to try and harass and slow down that jungle route from Dardoch, but gives up a very free kill to a Hecarim early in the game. That's devastating.
The camp had already gone. We were looking at it. He's like level 1 versus level 3. Normally, you'd trade around that camp, as you know, we were talking during the game, but the camp's gone. Kiwi's just there like, great, I've got exhaust, I've got flash, I'm fine.
The reason why the supports usually win out these battles is because it's not a one-on-one. The jungler has to tank the jungle creeps as well. You don't see the support go in and be like, all right, I'm gonna scrap you 2 levels down.
Right.
I mean, is there more to say?
I don't know. Well, it kind of looked like you were going to do that. But, All right, so I'll take this moment then to welcome our viewers from NALCS2 who are watching TSM take the second game over Envy, also close that series out in 2-0 fashion. We're currently breaking down Team Liquid's dominant 2-0 showing over NRG in their rebound after the loss to CLG yesterday. I want to dive into the game now because this one, with all that craziness, there was definitely an advantage handed over to Team Liquid in terms of the number of kills. The one big advantage for NRG, though, was within this lane swap, Quas got significantly farther ahead of Lorlo on that Gnar versus Trundle matchup. It was the one thing going in NRG's favor.
And it didn't seem to matter what the TL were doing to fix it. They brought their dual lane bot side. Still, this Gnar was getting ahead. It's always going to happen in that kind of setup. But the thing that kind of progressed from that was it wasn't enough on its own.
Right.
The rest of the map was going horribly for Energy. I mean, we looked at GBM. Pretty much has a magnet on his back for the Ash Arrow. 1-9-4 over both games. For GBM, this has been such a big fall from where we saw him last split. And every Ash Arrow just hits him, Dardoch goes in. And it doesn't matter the CS difference between a Gnar in the top lane. It's not going to be enough.
Right, exactly. I mean, Trundle will always have some amount of presence with his ultimate, as well as his ability to slow for team fights. The Gnar, if and when gets a good Gnar out, can be a big factor. But the replay, exactly. But our one and only replay for this game, 17 minutes of the game, is going to be a 4-4-0 for Team Liquid here. Energy looking to contest. Quas will TP in after having just gone mini from Mega, so therefore can't even build Rage at this point.
And you watch the TPM from the side, and we're watching.
It's on the mini-map.
Side. Yeah, exactly. It's coming from the mini-map, and right now TL have kited back so far that they can just continue the engage with the Hecarim afterwards. And from that perspective, like, Energy don't actually have enough engage tools to get on top of them in this fight. Their only combination is going to be Karma plus Mega Gnar, which is already there, somehow matching up. But when one's on one side of the fight with no Mega Gnar, Karma's on the other, that's never going to work.
Right.
Just get pushed away.
The problem with the composition, you put that 4-man unit and you're like, all right, guys, let's get the fight going. And everyone's just looking at each other like, wait, me? I'm supposed to be the one that's engaging? Like, the Graves is going to go up in there, the Karma, who starts a fight at this point? So just, being able to, this is a rare exception where 5-manning Herald works out in a good.
Yeah, for the Energy's composition is an interesting one because if the fight plays to the way that your composition wants it to, it'd be great. No, I'm saying it's a strange composition because in an ideal world where you actually get the fight you want, it is a full 5v5. A 5-man Gnar with a Victor ult and a Graves ult on top of it is a lot of damage. However, they have to remember that how can we actually create that fight? If you can't create that environment, that circumstance for yourself, then your composition is moot. It is essentially useless, and that's exactly what that replay illustrates, is they couldn't set up the fight they wanted. Got to move to player of the game, going to Dardoch. I mean, he did get hand-fed. He did get hand-fed by Kiwi, but we always say if you're going to get hand-fed kills, then it's your responsibility to make something happen with it, and he did just that in this game.
I mean, yeah, he had a really great showing on the Hecarim. I like the Trinity Rush as well as going with that really high damage Dead Man's Play, making sure that the damage is really up there. And we saw towards the end of the game, just taking away those red buffs from Fabi, just like, no, I'm the carry here. You are the support now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Team Liquid picking up that victory is going to help them in that race for third. They're still alive in that as they play Cloud9 rather later in the season, week 9. I want to now transition to TSM versus Envy. This game here from TSM, once again, just dominant across the board. We saw the team composition crafted by Envy. Kog'Maw, first time here in North American LCS. We've seen this in LPL and LCK. It's been successful, and they do create a team composition that mostly replicates the same elements that these other successful teams have done, but it's not successful here.
Which means it also replicates the same weaknesses that this kind of composition has. And you look at the lane setup here, we called it instantly. It's like they need to lane swap, they need to draw this game out past 30 minutes. And the problem is, okay, they get the lane swap at first, but so much starts going wrong around the map. Again, you have this impact that comes out from Sven a little bit in the early game. You've got the Caitlyn to deal with in the push. Just too much went TSM's way in the early game to ever let this Kog'Maw composition come online late in the game. We started seeing glimpses, but it just didn't end up enough.
Well, I think Envy's just playing on 6:15 a little bit, getting a little too ahead of themselves, just getting ready for the no lane swap meta. But you have all losing lanes, all losing matchups. What do you think's going to happen? And exactly that, once again, surprise,
I think especially, too, when it's proven that you are the worst team, right? I mean, we have 8 weeks of evidence here to say that TSM is clearly one of the top teams in the league, the only team that might be able to compete with them, Immortals, or P1, exactly. But for this example here, you know, as the worst team, to craft a composition that has all losing lanes is definitely a scary prospect. Our only replay here, 8 minutes in, TSM's going to pick up 4 kills. This spells the end of the game because that's a ton of gold to be going up against a team composition that wants to get past a certain point.
And it's just TSM making the first move. Envy's not even close, trying to respond. They get a 5-on-2 dive, and immediately they kind of tunnel a little too hard to try to get this dive going. Prox is going to get picked up by the Braum Q, and then Ninja's going to try to keep going. Seraph's going to try to escape with his twisted advance, but unfortunately, a nice little move by Hunter with the R dash is going to pick him up. So just being ahead of the macro play, and Envy trying to respond later, and instead of just taking the losses and saying, hey, we got outplayed, no, just bash your head into it, see how it happens, you get a cracked skull.
Now, player of the game is going to Bjergsen, 5-0-8 on Karma. There was also some discussion around maybe Biofrost for early play in the game, and in that replay there, you'll have noticed that Biofrost makes a nice little sidestep to actually body block the flash E from Grox to keep Double Lift alive, so saving that kill there. Great play on him early game, but Bjergsen on the Karma, deathless, 13 KDA, lots of poke, being essentially the initiation that the team needs through that, you know, mantra E for the entire team.
It's just about consistency on Karma. That as a champion, she has such a well-rounded kit to allow you to do everything, that as long as you're playing smart, you're playing safe, and even sometimes aggressive when you're looking to go forward with a lead like that, it's very easy to rack up assists, rack up kills, because you're just going to naturally get damage. He got Ardent Sensor as well, just get everything on top of it.
So personally, I'm not a big fan of Bjergsen on Karma. I feel like it's not taking full advantage of his mechanical prowess. Obviously, a highly skilled player with a pretty much no skill shot champion. Doesn't really seem to click too much for me, but I do think they picked it because it is a nice answer to the Vladimir. Strong early laning phase, and you don't need to pull out all your tricks here to beat Envy, and they did just that, and it looked good.
So both of our series end in 2-0s, TSM over Envy and Team Liquid over NRG. We're headed for a break, but when we return, Cloud9 faces off against a red-hot Phoenix 1 in the Battle Arena, with Echo Fox battling CLG on NALCS 2. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Going into game 2, Liquid look to separate themselves from Chronologic Gaming in the standings. NRG, this is a chance for NRG to start to step back up. Oh, he's walking towards Fab. He walked the other way now. Fabby's getting the tank on. One last shot. The minions not going to take him down.
Phoenix goes for the dive.
Whoa. Phoenix going very hard. Breaks the turret tether. He has the minions in range now, and it's going to be the draw.
Turn right.
Nice.
Holy shit.
They're going for a jump. I can all this guy.
Hack around, dude.
Good job.
Was the OQ. That gives them time to instantly deleted from the map. The 2-0 going over to Liquid as they take down NRG.